Have you ever noticed small changes in your body and wondered if they are just normal aging or something more serious? As men get older, certain physical signs begin to appear, some obvious, some subtle, and one you might even be able to smell before you see it. These changes aren't just random occurrences. They're actually clear markers of how the body adapts over time in response to various biological processes. In this detailed exploration, we're uncovering four telltale signs of aging in older men. One related to smell, two that get noticeably bigger, and one that becomes smaller. Some of these changes happen gradually, building up slowly without much fanfare, while others might suddenly catch you by surprise when you look in the mirror one day and see something different. How many of these signs do you have personally experienced? Stick around until the end, because you might discover something that explains a change you've noticed in yourself, but never fully understood or connected to the aging process. Stay tuned, because by the time we finish, you'll have a better understanding of what's happening to your body and what, if anything, you can do about it to manage or mitigate these effects. Now, let's get started with a thorough look at each one. Number 1. The unmistakable smell of aging. There's a certain scent that often accompanies aging, and if you've ever visited a senior living facility, you may have noticed it lingering in the air or on clothing. It's not about poor hygiene or cologne choices that might seem outdated. It's something much deeper, something that happens at the cellular level within the skin and body systems. As men get older, their skin undergoes biochemical changes, leading to the production of a compound called nonenal. This odorless to some, but noticeable to others, scent is created when fatty acids in the skin break down due to oxidative stress, a process where free radicals damage cells over time. And it has a slightly grassy, waxy, or even stale aroma that can evoke memories of old libraries or attics. The challenge is that nonenal doesn't wash away as easily as regular sweat and oil, making it persistent and hard to eliminate completely. Unlike the usual body odors that come from bacteria breaking down sweat on the surface, nonenal binds to fabrics, lingers on the skin, and resists being fully removed with conventional soaps, even those marketed for everyday use. This explains why some men continue noticing the scent even after showering multiple times or using strong deodorants. While younger skin naturally regenerates and washes away excess oils efficiently through cell turnover and natural exfoliation, aging skin retains more oxidized fatty acids, allowing the scent to become more pronounced over time as the skin's barrier function weakens and renewal slows. Take Richard, a 74-year-old retired engineer who had always been meticulous about his personal care. He started noticing that his shirts seemed to hold on to a certain scent even after washing them thoroughly in hot water with extra detergent. His granddaughter once told him, "Grandpa, you smell like books and wood," a surprisingly common way people describe this odor, often associating it with nostalgic or musty elements. At first, he assumed it was his cologne or laundry detergent causing the issue, but when switching products didn't change anything despite trying several alternatives, he realized his skin itself had developed a new scent that was inherent to his body's changing chemistry. He wasn't alone in this experience. Studies show that people over 40 begin producing nonenal in small amounts as part of the natural aging trajectory, but by the time men reach their 70s, it becomes much more noticeable due to accumulated oxidative damage and reduced skin resilience. But here's the good news. While you can't stop the body from producing nonenal entirely, as a byproduct of inevitable biological shifts, you can reduce its buildup through targeted strategies that address the root causes. Certain soaps, especially those designed to remove excess oils and incorporate gentle exfoliants or pH balance formulas, are more effective at neutralizing nonenal than regular body washes that might only clean superficially. Antioxidant-rich foods such as green tea, citrus fruits, and leafy greens may also help reduce oxidative stress and slow the process by providing the body with compounds like polyphenol and vitamins that combat free radicals. And because nonenal clings to fabrics tenaciously, washing clothes with baking soda or using odor-neutralizing sprays designed for aging skin can make a significant difference in reducing its presence in your environment and wardrobe. So if you've ever wondered why your scent has changed over the years, now you know. It's not your imagination, and it's not just about hygiene routines falling short. It's a natural part of aging that every older man experiences at some point, reflecting the body's ongoing adaptations to time and environmental factors. Number 2, a bigger belly that won't budge. A growing midsection is one of the most common signs of aging in men. And it's not just about eating a little too much or skipping workouts occasionally due to busier schedules or fatigue. As men get older, their metabolism naturally slows down as a result of decreased enzymatic activity and cellular efficiency. Muscle mass declines progressively through a process known as sarcopenia, and hormonal changes make it easier to store fat, especially in the abdomen, where visceral fat tends to accumulate. You might have noticed that even if you're eating the same way you did in your 40s or 50s, maintaining similar portion sizes and food choices, your waistline keeps expanding inch by inch over the months and years. That's because testosterone levels decrease over time, often dropping by about 1% per year after age 30, and with it, the body's ability to maintain lean muscle diminishes significantly. Since muscle burns more calories than fat even at rest through higher basal metabolic rates, this shift leads to a slower metabolism overall, meaning extra calories turn into belly fat much more easily than before, creating a cycle of weight gain that's hard to break without intervention. For some men, it's not just about appearance and how clothes fit, it's about how it feels in daily life. Maybe shirts fit tighter around the middle, bending over is harder due to reduced flexibility, or carrying extra weight makes movement less comfortable and more laborious, affecting everything from posture to energy levels. Take Frank, a 76-year-old who was always lean in his younger years, priding himself on an active lifestyle that included regular physical labor. Even though his diet hadn't changed much, sticking to balanced meals with proteins and vegetables, he suddenly noticed his belly sticking out more while his arms and legs seemed thinner in comparison, creating an imbalance in body composition. He blamed it on age at first, thinking it was an unavoidable fate, but what he didn't realize was that his body was redistributing fat, storing more in his abdomen while muscle mass in his limbs decreased due to hormonal imbalances and reduced physical demands. The problem isn't just aesthetic or superficial. Studies show that excess belly fat in older men increases the risk of heart disease through elevated cholesterol and plaque buildup, diabetes via insulin resistance, and even cognitive decline as inflammation affects brain function over time. Unlike fat stored elsewhere in the body, such as subcutaneously under the skin, abdominal fat is more metabolically active, releasing inflammatory chemicals like cytokines that affect everything from blood pressure regulation to brain health and neuronal integrity. That's why men with a larger waistline in their 70s and 80s often experience higher levels of fatigue that lingers throughout the day, joint pain from added stress on knees and hips, and even sleep disturbances such as apnea caused by pressure on the diaphragm. So what can be done to address this effectively? First, resistance training is one of the most effective ways to counteract muscle loss and keep metabolism from slowing down too much. Incorporating exercises like weightlifting or bodyweight routines that target core and full body strength. Second, prioritizing protein in your diet helps maintain lean mass while keeping you full longer, making it easier to manage your weight by reducing overall calorie intake without feeling deprived. Sources like chicken, fish, nuts, and dairy can be integrated into meals. And third, avoiding processed carbohydrates and added sugars can help control insulin levels and prevent further fat accumulation by stabilizing blood sugar and reducing cravings. While gaining some belly fat is a natural part of aging, tied to evolutionary adaptations for energy storage. Allowing it to grow unchecked can lead to serious health risks that impact quality of life. And if you've noticed your midsection expanding despite eating and exercising the same way as before, it's not just your imagination. It's your body adapting to the natural hormonal shifts of aging, a process that can be managed with consistent lifestyle adjustments. Now, let's move forward to the next sign. Number 3, the mystery of growing ears. You might not notice it right away, as it's a subtle transformation that unfolds over decades, but your ears are actually getting bigger as you age, expanding in size and sometimes shape. Unlike muscles that shrink with disuse or fat that redistributes to different areas, the ears keep growing well into old age. And it's not just your imagination playing tricks when you compare old photos to current reflections. This happens because cartilage, the flexible tissue that makes up most of your outer ear, continues to grow throughout your life due to ongoing cellular activity and matrix deposition. At the same time, gravity pulls the ears downward over the years, stretching them further and making them appear even larger as the supportive structures weaken. If you've ever looked at an old photograph and thought, "Wait a minute, my ears didn't look this big before," you're not wrong. Studies have shown that ears grow by about 0.8 inches per decade on average, meaning that by the time a man reaches his 70s or 80s, his ears can be noticeably larger than they were in his youth, with cumulative growth adding up to significant changes. The difference might not be dramatic from year to year, allowing it to go unnoticed in the short term, but over the decades, it adds up substantially, altering facial proportions in subtle ways. Just ask George, a 78-year-old retired teacher who had always considered his features balanced. He always had proportionate ears in his younger years. But one day, after looking at an old picture from his wedding, preserved in a family album, he was shocked to see how much they had changed over the intervening years. His ears weren't just larger, they looked longer and droopier, with the lobes hanging lower than before. What's more, he noticed that his earlobes, once firm and rounded with youthful plumpness, had become thinner and stretched out, making his ears appear even bigger and more prominent against the rest of his face. This is something almost every older man experiences, but very few talk about openly, perhaps due to its cosmetic nature. Unlike other parts of the body where growth stops early, cartilage doesn't stop growing, and the skin around it loses elasticity with reduced collagen production, causing ears to elongate over time as they sag under their own weight. While this change isn't a medical concern in terms of health risks or functionality, it does affect appearance, and for some men, it can even make them feel self-conscious about their profile or how they look in hats and glasses. So, what can be done to manage or minimize this effect? Well, you can't stop cartilage growth entirely, as it's a fundamental biological process, maintaining good skin elasticity by staying hydrated with adequate water intake, eating collagen-boosting foods like bone broth, berries, and fish, and protecting your skin from excessive sun exposure through sunscreen and hats may help slow down the drooping effect by preserving dermal integrity. And if earlobes seem thinner or wrinkled due to volume loss, applying moisturizer regularly and using vitamin-rich skincare products, such as those with retinol or hyaluronic acid, can help maintain their texture over time, plumping them up slightly and reducing visible sagging. At the end of the day, growing ears are simply a part of aging, just like wrinkles or gray hair that mark the passage of years. It's not a sign of poor health or neglect. It's just nature's way of making sure you still hear the world around you clearly, with ears that have adapted to lifelong use. Number 4, the disappearing calves. As men age, one of the most noticeable changes happens in the legs, specifically the calves, where muscle definition and bulk can fade away. You might have looked down one day and realized that your once strong calves don't have the same shape or size they used to maintain, appearing flatter or less pronounced. It's not just about losing weight overall or slimming down. This is actually a common sign of aging, called muscle atrophy, where muscle mass gradually declines over time through the breakdown of fibers without adequate replacement. This change happens for a few reasons that interplay in complex ways. First, as testosterone and growth hormone levels drop steadily with advancing years, the body naturally loses muscle faster than it can rebuild it, disrupting the anabolic processes that support tissue repair. Second, many older men become less active without realizing it, perhaps due to retirement, joint discomfort, or lifestyle shifts. Even if you still walk every day for errands or leisure, you may not be engaging your calf muscles the way you used to, especially if you no longer run, jump, or do heavy lifting that challenges them specifically. And third, the circulatory system changes with age, leading to reduced blood flow in the legs through narrowed vessels or weaker pumps, which can further contribute to muscle loss by limiting nutrient and oxygen delivery. Take Robert, a 75-year-old who spent most of his career on his feet in a demanding job that required constant movement. He always had strong, well-defined calves that were a point of pride. But in his late 60s, he noticed they were getting thinner and weaker, losing their former contours. Even simple tasks like climbing stairs or standing up from a chair without using his hands felt harder and more strenuous, requiring extra effort. He chalked it up to aging at first, accepting it as part of getting older. But the truth was that his muscles were shrinking due to inactivity and hormonal shifts that accelerated the process. Losing muscle in the calves isn't just about appearance and how pants fit. It has real consequences for functionality. Weak calves can affect balance by reducing stability, increase the risk of falls through impaired proprioception, and even contribute to slower walking speed that limits independence. Studies have shown that men with reduced calf muscle mass tend to struggle more with mobility in their later years, making daily activities more difficult and potentially leading to a sedentary cycle. That's why maintaining lower body strength is one of the biggest factors in staying independent as you age, preserving the ability to navigate the world on your own terms. The good news, you can slow down muscle loss and even reverse some of it with the right exercises tailored to your capabilities. Simple activities like calf raises done daily, resistance band training for added tension, and even brisk walking on an incline to simulate uphill effort can help rebuild muscle fibers and improve circulation by enhancing blood flow. And don't forget about protein intake. Eating enough lean meats, eggs, or plant-based protein sources like beans and quinoa can support muscle maintenance and recovery by providing essential amino acids. So if you've noticed your calves looking thinner or feeling weaker, don't ignore it. This is one of those aging signs that can be improved with effort. And taking action now can help keep you strong and mobile for years to come, ensuring a higher quality of life. Final thoughts. Now that we've covered these for subtle yet telling signs of aging in men, the distinctive smell from non-anal production, the expanding belly due to metabolic and hormonal shifts, the gradually growing ears from ongoing cartilage development, and the shrinking calves from muscle atrophy, take a moment to reflect on how many of them you've noticed in yourself or others around you, perhaps in family members or friends. Aging is a journey full of transformations. And while some changes are inevitable parts of the human experience, understanding them gives you the power to take better care of yourself through informed choices and proactive steps. Whether it's staying active to maintain muscle strength and prevent further loss, paying attention to skin changes and adopting routines to manage sense or elasticity, or simply making small adjustments to your routine like dietary tweaks or exercise additions. These little efforts can go a long way in helping you age with confidence and vitality, embracing the process rather than resisting it. Aging isn't something to fear as a decline. It's something to embrace with the right mindset and habits that honor your body's history. Every wrinkle, every shift in your body, and even the subtle scent of time tells a story of experience, resilience, and wisdom accumulated over a lifetime. Instead of worrying about these changes and letting them cause unnecessary stress, Focus on what you can do to stay healthy, strong, and feeling like the best version of yourself, prioritizing wellness in all its forms. So, what stood out to you the most in this discussion? Have you noticed any of these signs in yourself, or are there others you've observed that weren't mentioned here, such as changes in hair texture or joint flexibility? We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. Thank you for joining us today.